Welcome to JK Games, a gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
And whether you play on easy mode,
or you like a good challenge,
this is a show where we try to level up your gaming knowledge.
That was a good one. It's good.
Thank you.
And we are joined by our special guest, our resident guest host, Josh. Say hello, Josh.
I'm back. I'm back.
I'm back, baby.
Times 3.
He's back.
I'm trying to beat out all your other guests for most appearance.
We're not actually talking about Nintendo today, which is very surprising for you being on the show.
I'll figure a way to tie it back in.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, I am one of your hosts, Kayla, if you are new here.
And I'm your other host, Jerica, and this is a show where we talk about video games, TV shows, nerdy things, maybe occasionally books, because Kayla's the smart bookworm over here.
Hey, Josh
she likes to read.
Josh is reading books too, or listening to books right now.
Oh, excuse me, Josh. Yeah. We have two.
I just found out there's something called books, here. So I was like, hey, I need to check that out. Yeah.
Kayla's been talking about them all week.
I was like, what is that?
Man, books are great.
Hot off the press, you know what I'm saying? Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Hey. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, well, we like to talk a bunch with the three of us together, so I'm gonna jump right into our loadout, okay? Okay, yep. Let's go. Okay, so if you are new here, what's up? Hello. Go ahead and follow us over on Instagram and Twitter. We're not live this episode, but we have been going live on Twitch every now and then, and that's where we'll post like when we're going live, what time, and everything. And that is at JK Games Podcast on both of those. On Twitch, it's just at JK Games Cast. And of course, you can always email us if you have any questions, comments, concerns at jkgamespodcast@gmail.com. We love getting emails. We love kicking it old school. And of course, don't forget to leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening on. We would love to read it on the podcast. We still don't have one to read that is new, so that's very upsetting. Josh, have you left us a review on Apple Podcast?
Probably not, because I don't use the Apple Podcast app, but I should.
Oh, you don't?
Just to boost your, engagement.
Yeah. What do you use?
I just use some other third-party app.
Okay.
Well, maybe we should. We probably have comments on these other platforms. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, we really need to look into that, because
I don't know.
What would be hilarious if we're like super famous on like Spotify and we have no idea.
That's a good point.
Like,
yeah.
Because
I mean, Spotify.
The way that
I
go ahead.
I occasionally dabble and like pay a few months for Spotify sometimes, just because they have a lot of great playlists and stuff. So
I think
Spotify is a great platform.
I think you can listen to podcasts for free on Spotify if you don't have a subscription. I think I've listened to one before on Spotify. Like somebody's podcast that I listened to was like only on Spotify, I think, and I listened to one. It's not. I don't know. I'm team like Apple Podcast and not Spotify, but that's just my opinion, you know. But no, we'll look into that to see if we have reviews on any other platforms. That would be cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and have us jump right into easy mode. If you're new here, we set up our episodes in just like a video game. We've got easy, we've got normal, we've got expert. Today, I didn't even mention what we're talking about today. What the heck? Jericho, what are we talking about today?
Man, we're going to talk about VR headsets, because I recently got a new headset thanks to Josh, and I guess that's why he's here. Because without Josh, I wouldn't have ventured into the world of VR.
Yeah.
I think it was actually thanks to Josh I got to try one for the first time.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's your introduction. That's what
I was an early adopter,
Brian.
so, you know.
Both of you guys were, so it's pretty cool.
That's really exciting
to experience. Yeah, I can't wait to nerd out about it.
Yes. Okay.
This episode.
Well, yes, that's really exciting. So we're gonna dabble into a little bit of the history, but our personal histories with VR as well. I don't own a headset or any kind of like console for that. Not yet, but I would like to. But I do have experience with them. Like I've used them often. I just don't own one. But before we even get into that, I would like to know what you guys have been playing lately. Whoever wants to start. Josh, you're our guest. You can go first if you want. What you've been playing?
Usually I can't remember what I said last time. I think last time I just said Final Fantasy 14. The last two times, maybe. Which I am still trying to catch up, because, they actually just announced the date a couple days ago for the new the newest expansion was going to be in November 20 something. So I'm trying to get caught up to that. I'm almost there. But I actually have been playing some other kind of non-normal things, like re-downloaded Warzone. That's what all the bros play. But
wow. Okay.
I got to tell you one thing, and I like the game actually. The game is really fun. You get in there, it's fun. But you get out of the game, and there's like all these menus, and they want you to buy skins and all this stuff, which is fine. It's a free game. That's how they make money. But it is like literally like very much a casino or a slot machine. The graphics, how they make it look, the lights, the sounds. I can tell people are spending a lot of money in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing some Call of Duty Warzone, which is funny. It's pretty fun. And what's interesting too, though, I've been playing on PC, got a new graphics card, and I have a high refresh rate monitor. So that's probably why I kind of got into it, because I wanted to try some of these like heavier games recently.
Yeah.
And but kind of the funny thing is and we were just talking about this pre-show, is kind of cross-play stuff, right? And Warzone already has it, so if I go and play it, I can see everyone, like almost everyone's on PlayStation, and then there's like a couple Xbox people, and then there'll be like me and like one other PC person or something.
But you're playing with controller, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, I'm using a keyboard and mouse because I like playing shooters like that. But here's the interesting thing. And I tried switching to controller a little, because the game is kind of tuned for controller, or like has preference to people using controller. Because when you use a controller, there's a little bit of aim assist or like auto aim. And almost really like every game has that to an extent, like a little bit, but it's really noticeable. Like the mouse doesn't really have it as much. And then when you have a controller, it's like when you get near someone's body and you target near them, it really like kind of locks on them a lot. So it's kind of a strange thing, where I'm like on a PC, but it's like they kind of force you to use a controller almost, because you have a little bit of an advantage. So that's weird. Also, Jericho should be happy to know I've been playing a little Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Ooh, yeah.
Really liking that. The first one, the gameplay has always been a little bit weird, but I think the rest of it holds up so much, and the remaster's so nice that it really, it feels pretty modern, even though it's pretty old by this point. So I know I need to make it to Mass Effect 2 already, though. That's definitely one of my favorites.
And you've played all of them, is that right?
Oh, yeah, as they came out. So, big fan.
I was smart and waited until they were all out.
You just play them all in a row.
Multiple times.
Mass Effect 3 is what gave my 360 Red Ring of Death, actually.
Wow. I think I remember you telling me that story, because I don't even think you got to start it, did you?
So I had one of the original Xboxes, that had all those problems, but mine was fine. Everyone else's is breaking. Mine's always been fine. And Mass Effect 3 came out. It's kind of late in the console life cycle, but very highly anticipated, of course. So I start the mission. I won't try to spoil it, because a lot of people are playing Mass Effect for the first time. But you start on a big, like, kind of like a cool battle thing, and really the end of that sequence. So I only played like an hour. It happened. It just froze, and I was frantically like calling people to see like who would let me borrow theirs. Like, but I was trying to think who's like not playing, and I don't know. I found someone so that I could borrow their system. So
that's a funny story. I think Call of Duty gave me Red Ring of Death. I think that.
See,
I had it twice.
Yeah, that's right. You play some Call of Duty games.
Yeah,
I usually don't. So that's the other weird thing about playing Warzone is like there's a lot of it's these different weapons or different things from other Call of Duties, and I don't really know all that.
Did you play, this is kind of random, but did you play Titanfall, Josh?
No, but it's been on my kind of need to play list, because especially Titanfall 2, I heard it's really good.
Oh my gosh, it's so
gotta
good.
Add that to the list.
It reminded me when you said that, because Warzone is a battle royale, and Apex is also a battle royale, and everyone here knows I'm a big fan of Apex. And Apex brings in weapons from Titanfall, and like now actual lore from Titanfall. But a lot of the weapons are similar, so that's
pretty cool. I do like when they do that kind of thing.
But Warzone, I kind of have a little bit of, I don't really like Warzone actually. It's fine. It's not my preferred battle royale, just because the maps are so large, and like I don't know. I find it more difficult. I don't know
I like
why.
the map size. What I really like, I first started getting into these kind of games like with PUBG, right? Like a couple years ago, which is kind of one of the first kind of versions that everyone's sort of copying. Like even Fortnite came after that, and then there's tons of stuff. Yeah, Apex and Warzone. Warzone is a little bit more similar to PUBG than like Fortnite, or even Apex. I think it's a little more similar to PUBG, but the pacing's a little too fast in my opinion. I know a lot of people like that kind of frantic pacing, but you don't really have much time to like sneak around or just kind of be tactical with it. I guess is less tactical. That's the word. You kind of like you're dropping in there. There's just tons of chaos around, and you're just kind of having to keep moving all the time. And that's probably designed like that to be like more exciting. But I do kind of like the slower pace of PUBG where a round can last like twice as long because you're kind of taking it like slower and more tactically.
Yeah. I probably need to give it another try. I didn't play it that much, Warzone, so maybe I need to give it another shot. I had
to not play it. I had to remove it because it took up so much space.
It does. Yes. It takes up a ton. My internet's slow, and that's one of my biggest problems I've been running into, which is they'll update it and then I'll have to like set it overnight because my internet is so slow.
Yes. So is that all you've been playing lately? Besides your VR?
Yeah, that's the other thing, but we can just save that for later. But yeah, basically for flat games, as we call them, Warzone, Mass Effect, and a little bit of Final Fantasy.
Okay, cool. Jericho, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing more Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It didn't take me too long to beat the first one, and to Josh's point, like I've talked about this on the show last week, but you could definitely still tell it's an older game, and like they brought some things like from a visual standpoint to the mechanics of the first game, but it still plays very just like Mass Effect, the first game. But that's not what's always drawn me to that. Is the story of the first one that's really good, and just like the character development and what all you can do. Like I sort of forgot like how much you can just explore the Citadel in the first game.
Yeah,
and
Citadel's
like how
great.
Yeah, and there's so many little quests and side quests that I just totally missed the last few times I've played because I just didn't take the time to really explore. And I don't know, Josh, since you've been playing, the graphic, like it looks really good. Like they upscaled and made everything look all shiny and new. But some textures look so shiny and new to the point where they're very similar, and I get lost very easily. Like I was getting turned around in this one area, like this one planet you go to, and you may not actually be there yet, but I was like, I can't really see the hallway.
Interesting.
Because every wall is gray.
I'll have to notice that now.
I had to lean on the map so much in one of these. I remember it being sort of a maze the first time I played it. I don't want to spoil it on any, because Kayla's never played it. But this one planet you go to is just really easy to get lost.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I was just wondering if you've noticed that.
I haven't noticed that myself yet, but I haven't. We'll see. Usually on PC, I don't play a lot with HDR because Windows handles HDR weird. But for some reason, it's been working well for me with this, so it's been really looking good. But I wonder if that's going to make it worse. We'll see.
See, I don't know. So I've been adjusting. I'm glad you brought that up too, because some of the games, including Destiny lately, I don't know why my eyes are just like, ugh, I can't do the HDR. I'm just going to turn it off.
It's kind of weird. Like I don't know. Is that on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Maybe it's similar
like
problem.
High def.
It's like it's too black. Like I can't. It's, the places like I have to adjust it to where like could be a whole other topic, and I'm just went from Mass Effect to HDR settings, but like I know it's like make this shade, or you want to see the shade barely, right? I don't know if they want me to take that very seriously.
I know what you're saying, where it shows you the icons.
Like, when you play anything new, it's like adjust your brightness, and it's like, because I could feel like I could sort of still see this, but like, what do they mean barely see? Because I can barely see this, but like, a couple of these I can barely see. So that's a whole other thing. Anyways, I've been adjusting HDR a lot, and turning it off.
I have a quick
more than leaving it on lately. Huh?
Did you guys get the notification that we're going to get kicked out of Zoom? Or do y'all have the...
Oh, it says
no, yes,
remaining meeting time.
What does this mean?
I think we have a time limit unless you upgrade to Pro.
Ah, poop.
We can try to figure out Skype.
First.
Or we can upgrade and then request a refund.
How much is it?
$14 a month, but then you could cancel it. Or we could try to get it refunded. Whatever you guys want to do.
I'll split it with you, Kayla.
Is it not telling y'all that? Is it not telling y'all that?
I see at the top of the screen it just says remaining time.
I see it, but it won't let me buy it. I would literally do it if I could.
Hold on.
So funny. When'd they do that?
I don't know. That sucks.
It does suck. Like,
Zoom meetings.
Why?
Okay, no.
Is it because we have more than more than two people?
It's just a pandemic. They're trying to cash in.
It has to be because me and Jerica have used Zoom before for a long time. Like when we do streams. Sorry, podcast is important. Let's go. Let me see if I can figure it out. We can keep talking. We got how many minutes?
Yeah, I'll keep talking and then I'll keep in check on when I need to like cut it.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll just quit talking about HDR now and the doom that's about to come upon us in Zoom. So Mass Effect's great. I'm back on. So like where I was going with that, Mass Effect 1 didn't take me long to get through. I'm playing Mass Effect 2, and even Audrey's on the second one as well, and she's ahead of me.
Oh.
And she's still not like to some of the last missions. So Mass Effect 2 has so much content.
Yeah.
And since they've dripped in the DLCs, like as just part of the story in the right parts, you have so much game when you get to Mass Effect.
That's interesting too. I think I told you this. I played them all as they came out, but I never really touched a lot of the DLCs, and I know some of them are really held in high regard. So I'm actually excited because it'll be like I get to experience some of that for the first time. So it makes it a little newer.
Yeah.
But you're right that like because all the side characters have kind of individual arcs, but you can kind of skip that or do it optionally. But a lot of times that's some of the better content in the game. So
it's so good.
Really good. Yeah.
There was a side quest that I never did for one of the characters, and I was just like, this is cool. I'm glad I did it this time. I know what happens if I don't, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
What else are you playing?
So
play anything else, Jerica?
Just Mass Effect. I hopped on Destiny for a little bit, but that's just what's new.
Oh, yeah, because they added... Do we want to talk about that? They added crossplay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of... I'll chat. I'll mention that now because I was actually just about to do that. I didn't realize. I'm glad we mentioned it earlier because I felt like it was the weekend, like this coming weekend was the time frame.
No, it's only
not during the week.
If you're listening, it's only like the 25th through the 27th.
So if you're listening now, this would be Friday. You're too late.
Too late. Missed it.
Sad.
It's just a beta though, so it looks like they're testing on. Accidentally, it was turned on like a few weeks ago. But this is a beta, so they're testing crossplay. So like. If you got friends on PC or Xbox, eventually it looks like we'll all finally get to play Destiny together the way it's meant to be. But on the flip side, I was a little nervous because like I love playing Crucible and I don't want to play Crucible with other PC players.
Why?
So I wonder, because they do have an advantage.
Well, maybe not. We'll have to see if they do it like Warzone where the controller users have like more aim assist. So we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm sure after this beta, people will be like checking that.
Yeah, because I'm curious. Well, the beta actually only includes a Vanguard strike.
Yeah.
So that's all you can do to test out crossplay. And it also looks like you just can't hop into the strike and leave, and you still because you get an emblem. That's why I'm just doing this for the emblem. If you, I guess you have to complete in the. There's actually a crossplay playlist for Vanguard strikes.
Oh wow!
So, I know that sounds like I just probably talked a lot of gibberish.
If you don't play Destiny.
Well, I don't really, but I've been thinking about picking it back up. I don't know, but I pretty much say that every time. I don't know if it's the game for me. It just might not be my thing, you know.
You can't do like Apex and Destiny. I feel like you gotta pick one or the other.
Those live action games, you know, you gotta.
Those live action games are just
play them a lot.
God, they take up a lot of time.
Well, I think
it's never ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point, because it's kind of like the game that you play between things, or like that you go back to just to like continue to play. And I don't feel like I could have more than one of those, so that kind of makes sense. Is that all, Jerica, that you had?
That's all I've been playing. Oh, actually, I downloaded something last night. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are we good on time?
No, I'm trying to save us from impending doom, but I think I got
2 minutes.
it. Hold on. I think I did it. Hold on. You can keep talking. I'm good right now.
Well, I have this game that I downloaded from my phone. It's called... Because it's apparently about to be removed from the App Store due to some, like, contractual things. Wow. But it's called Hatful BF.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a pigeon...
The pigeon dating sim, yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Oh, this is a very popular game. I didn't know. It's on a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, that's what the title screen... Well, I can't see it.
Oh, my gosh. No. Now it's washed out.
I can't see.
Anyway, just imagine pigeons in clothes.
It's just like almost photorealistic. Like, these are actually pictures of pigeons in a dating sim. They're not even like illustrated.
Yeah.
They all look like... It just looks very cheesy. But apparently held in high regard.
Oh, yeah.
And has a twist somewhere in there. Like, why you're dating these pigeons.
So I upgraded to, but it's not... I wonder if we have to make a new call.
We can rejoin it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just rejoin it.
Do you want to continue to record and just chop this part out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just chop it.
I will end and start a new one.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm good. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you, Josh.
Oh, whoops. I was
there
muted.
you go. Okay. Woo! Okay.
Where's Jerica?
Jerica, no!
I guess we'll see if this is the pro version.
I think it is. I think so. I think it's fine since I'm the one hosting it.
Yeah,
I think that it should be fine. Okay, there she is. Great. That's not much she has to chop out.
Nah.
Welcome back, Jerica.
Haha.
Hey, okay, we're good.
I sent you some money.
Oh,
wow,
you didn't have to do that.
Well, I did it. Well, we split it.
Thanks.
We get a whole month of Zoom for free.
Yeah.
Well, not for free. It's half off.
The low price of $14.99. Anyway, okay, what were we talking about now that we are not...
A pigeon simulator, Kayla.
That gave me so much anxiety seeing the number count down. I was like...
I know we're not going to have Kayla, defuse the bomb.
No.
If we ever have that.
You ever play that game?
We did it.
What game? The pigeon game?
No. Who's... Nobody talks and everyone explodes. What's it called? You know that game?
Is this like a real person game or a video game?
It's a video game.
I didn't know if this is what you
I
play
can never
in real
get the
life with
name
real
right.
people, or...
It's like oh man, what is it called?
If it involves being quiet or you blow up, I will lose every time.
It's a fun party game. Keep talking and nobody explodes. There you go.
Oh, you keep talking. Oh my god,
that'd be so much fun. Oh, that'd be awesome.
You have to try it out. It's one person is like on the screen like playing the game. The rest of the people actually have like a PDF or like an instruction book. And so the person like with the bomb has to describe what they see. Like, oh, I see a bunch of wires. And so the people have to like flip to like the wires part and be like, cut the blue one, but the instructions like little puzzles. It'd be like, if blue is touching green, then cut the red one, or if red is going over, whatever.
Oh, that sounds terrifying and very anxiety-ridden. I can't.
It's fun.
We should have a few glasses of wine and do that one night, Kayla.
Yeah. Okay, Jerica, you were talking about the pigeon game. Is that all you had to say?
Yeah. Pigeon Simulator, Kayla.
I like simulator games. You guys know this.
You ever thought about dating a pigeon? Because I think you're a human girl dating pigeons. I think that's what's happening in this game.
Well, there's a whole plot twist to it. You know, it's like
there's a plot twist. This is
a well-known indie game. It came out and kind of rose in popularity. Everyone was talking about it on Twitter. So it was a while ago.
Well, you better download it now. I spent $4.99 on it because it's about to go away, and I was like, I got to get this game before it goes away.
Well, that sounds cute. Is the art style cute? Like, how does it look?
It's unique.
Okay.
It's nice. It's just like, I'm talking to this pigeon, okay? Trying to ruffle its feathers, you know what I mean?
Okay.
In a way that's not making it mad.
On a totally
sexy. Okay, I'm done now.
Do you get like romance options? Like, do you get to like?
I haven't got that far. I just only talked to one pigeon.
You'll have to update us for sure.
Okay, I'll update y'all. What you been playing, Kayla?
I have been playing. I actually finished Resident Evil 7. I'm really happy.
Yay.
I finally finished. It took me forever. You guys know. It takes me a long time to finish games. But it ended up being I spent about 10 and a half hours on it. So, I mean, it took me a minute.
Pretty good amount of time, yeah.
And so I finished that. And so I'm going to give like my mini review. I talked a lot about it last week, like what I liked about it and everything. I will say I expected a little bit more from the ending. I don't know. It's I mean, there might be some. You guys have all played it, right? You both have played Resident Evil 7.
But I did not beat it because I'm like you. I don't beat a lot of games.
Okay, so I won't spoil anything, but like it, I don't know. It left me feeling a little bit wanting more as far as the ending, like story wise. I don't know, but there's also 2 different endings. Just in case you're wondering, I didn't look up what the other one was, so maybe the other ending was better. Maybe, I don't know. But I enjoyed overall. Like, it was very scary, but like not. What I really enjoyed about it wasn't scary just for the sake of being scary. Like, there's some like jump scares and some like just gross things, but like the overall story was really good. Like, I was very invested.
Marguerite.
Yeah. Oh my god, the spider when she's the spy. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Again, light spoilers. If you want to know nothing about this game, it's been out for a while, so you should.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
When she turns into the spider, the whole bug, like, I really like how it was all set up. I like how you dive into the family and like their dynamics, how you go through each person, like the Marguerite. I forget the dad's name.
Hold on. I gotta look it up.
But you go through like each person is like a boss, and like you go through like a certain section of the game with them. I like how it's laid out. I think it's laid out really well. I really enjoyed the weapon play. I actually really liked having to like scavenge for bullets and like craft certain things and like extract certain elements from like the chem fluid to make something else. I thought that was really great. I liked that whole system, how that was working. Yeah,
you'd probably like a lot of Resident Evil games then, because that's kind of like one of the characteristics of it. So
this was my first
I had
one.
More, like, even I know I'm so glad you played 7 because you said it left you wanting more. Well, luckily, Resident Evil Village is out and still probably leaves you wanting more.
Okay. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Had you finished it last week or I can't remember.
Yeah, finished it last week.
I can't remember if you talked about it last week.
And I felt like it was even shorter than 7. You said how long did it take
10
you
and
to
a half hours.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also, some things took me longer than they should have taken me. So, I got frustrated at some points, and I even played it on easy. Like, I wanted to, like, kind of cruise. But I overall, like, aesthetically, it looked really great. It came out, I think it was, like, 2017 or something like that. I think it held up really well. It looks really good, played well on my PS5. I don't think they'd done any kind of, like, touch-ups or anything to the game, had they?
I don't think so. No.
That game, it looked great when it came out.
And I really liked like the attention to detail that they put into all of the maps are huge. I really enjoyed that. I love any kind of horror elements in a game. So I liked that it wasn't just like scary completely for shock value. Like there was actual like thought and it was very psychological. Like there was points where I was like, is this really happening or is this not happening? Which I always like anything that has like psychological elements. Some of it was wacky, like you mentioned, some of it was like a little like, what is actually happening? But I like that. Like it wasn't anything where I was like, ugh.
Resident Evil charm.
Yeah,
yes,
one of the things that's cool about it is like it's almost like this Japanese take on like cool guy American stuff. So it has that like stuff. It does definitely have like a hokey characteristic to it a little bit. All of it does, but that's kind of like what you said, Resident Evil charm. That's what people like about it.
Which is funny because it's my first one, and I can definitely tell like that's their shtick, you know. But I really liked it. Like I really enjoyed it. I want to. I think I want to go directly into 8, but I also want to play Mass Effect though. So I don't know.
Maybe.
What should I do?
Go to Mass Effect and then go back to 8. Then it's like you get some space between.
Jerica really wants me to play 8.
No pun intended, Josh.
Space joke. Oh.
I don't know. We'll see. I haven't decided yet.
I can tell you this. I know it's like a lot of games to buy, but if you buy them both, it's a great thing to go back and forth. Because I did that. And then, like, honestly, I'm so excited for you to start 8 because I love 7, but I really loved 8.
Okay. Did you enjoy 8 more?
I liked it. I liked it more.
Okay. All right.
And it's so a lot of people said the 8 story fell sort of flat compared to like 7 and other Resident Evil games, but I thought it was really interesting and it was cool.
I also
I love Ethan Winters.
Yeah, I liked in 7 how you again, this is not like huge, but you play as Ethan, but you also play as Mia, and you like have the different perspectives. And like they play directly into each other, and I really liked that. And the creepy little girl was just.
She's always a creepy little girl.
There was that plot twist at the end, though. I don't want to ruin it for Josh.
What a twist!
But
there's another twist coming up. There's always a twist.
Always.
It was a good plot twist. I think they did it really well. Like the way they did the plot twist was like it actually really surprised me. I try to and I read a lot of books, so I read a lot of thriller and like horror.
You're
books.
Looking out for it. You're like you can see the setup, right?
Yeah, usually I can, but this one caught me. I didn't predict this one. But yeah, that's my little mini review of Resident Evil 7. I don't think it is still free on PlayStation Now, so that's how I played it. But not undecided on how I'm gonna go for. I might do Mass Effect and Resident Evil because I know Mass Effect is something I'm gonna have to chip away at like over time.
Well, 3 games, so.
So I might just do Resident Evil since it's a like air quote like shorter game. Then obviously Mass Effect is shorter. And then lastly, I just want to finish with this. This is the last of them playing. I picked up my Switch again. I started playing my Switch.
Nice.
This is how we can tie in Nintendo, Josh.
There you go.
I started playing this game called Cozy Grove. And Jerica, I talked to Josh a little bit about it, but Jerica, I haven't really gotten to talk to you about it. Have you ever heard of Cozy Grove, Jerica?
It sounds sort of familiar. Is it new? Did it recently come out?
It's probably new on Switch, but it is on Apple Arcade.
It is on Apple Arcade.
Okay.
I bought it on Switch for like really cheap, like $10, I think. Let me see when it came out, what year it came out. I think it's an indie game. Right,
yeah,
Josh?
I believe so. Yeah.
The developer is Spry Fox, and it's published by Spry Fox and the Quantum Astrophysicist Guild. Very specific. I don't know.
Is it got ghosts in it?
Yes.
Yes, I've heard of this game. It looked really cute.
It's like Ghost
so
Animal
cute.
Crossing, sort of.
Yeah.
Yes, it is so... I love the art style. It is so cool. I'll show you a picture, Jerica. Hold on. It's like... kind of... I don't know how you explain this art style, but it's like drawn... kind of like...
watercolor. Like, it's kind of watercolor looking.
Yeah. But essentially, here's the... I like the descriptions pretty good. So, welcome to Cozy Grove, a life sim game about camping on a haunted, ever-changing island. As a spirit scout, you'll wander the island's forest each day, finding new hidden secrets and helping soothe the local ghost. With little time and lots of crafting, you'll bring color and joy back to Cozy Grove. It's so fun. And so, like, you The audio is great. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's very like whimsical and like acoustic. It's very like chill. I have to play it for you sometime, Josh.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
The soundtrack's really good, and the sound effects are really good. The voices are nice. It's like Animal Crossing, where like they're not actually talking, but like they're making that like type of yes. It's similar to that, and it's just I highly recommend it, especially like if you have Apple Arcade, you can go ahead and download it. Jerica, you should just download it.
I'll download it.
10 out of 10 would recommend. I've only played it for a couple days, and the days are real time, so you run out of things to do in the day, which is kind of nice. It makes you like space it out. But you can still like craft things. It's like you can craft, you can like scavenge and things like that, but you also have like missions to complete. So I really am enjoying it so far. I'll give more as I play more information.
Yeah,
but that's
you sold me like Ghosts and Animal Crossing S, and I love
it's
the
different.
like real like. Yeah, and I love even going back to Animal Crossing when I was playing it a lot. Like the first few days we played all day, but like once you get into your routine, you play for a little bit, but like you don't. It's not a game meant to.
Yeah, you're
play
like, okay, I did
Yes.
some things, and then I'll just check back in tomorrow or a couple days.
You can easily play that and play something else.
But this has inspired me to pick up my Switch again, because I go through phases where I won't play my Switch for a while, but now I'm back in the habit. So I started playing Stardew again. I love Stardew Valley.
Nice. Yeah, always a
so good.
Yeah. So I've picked up my Switch and started playing. That's the kind of game I like to play on my Switch. So that wraps up what I've been playing. We can go ahead and start on we got a couple of news things to cover today. We'll try to touch on them pretty quickly since we're running late on time. But all right, I guess I'll start us off with our news.
Yeah, do it.
We got some Overwatch 2 stuff. I didn't watch the whole stream. Blizzard actually hosted, I think it was actually like a bunch of like people playing the game, right? That hosted the stream, like influencers, air quote.
I think so.
I can't remember. I'm just reading an article. I watched some of the gameplay and it looks really dope. But this is from The Verge. Blizzard shows off Overwatch 2's new 5 versus 5 multiplayer in a trio of maps. Still no word on a release date for Overwatch 2, which is unfortunate. I really thought we were going to get something, but alas, we did not. So they did a 2-hour Overwatch 2 stream showed off by the best look yet at the much anticipated sequel to the competitive team shooter. While there's still no release date, the studio did show off plenty of new information about the game. Among those is one of the biggest changes to Overwatch in the game's history. The sequel will be shifting the default PvP player mode from 6-on-6 matches to 5-on-5 games within the current role queuing system that translates to cutting out a tank character on each team, which will now consist of 2 support, 2 DPS, and just a single tank character. I find that interesting that they've kind of changed that, because especially like with the competitive players,
So what they had, and that's just the default mode. I think they're going to still have other modes that have the traditional one, but they were testing, or they've had a similar mode like that in Overwatch 1 currently, and that's how they test these things, and it seemed to be very popular, and it fixes some balance issues. Obviously changes kind of like the meta of the game, where you'll have certain things figured out, and obviously nice, if you just think of it from a numbers point of view, if you have like odd numbers, it adds a little bit of like a dynamicness to it. So
so you've played Overwatch, Josh?
Yeah, I used to play it a lot, especially when it first came out. I liked it a lot. It started getting a little bit stale for me, just because, as the community settles in, there's certain things expected that you're supposed to play a certain way or do things a certain way. And a lot of times, like, I'm not really like interested. I just want to kind of play and hang out and have fun.
It became
I have been nervous about this just because, like, Jeff Kaplan just left, who was kind of in charge of Overwatch, and had kind of, he just left. We don't really know why exactly. And there's just some other weird things with Overwatch 2, like if you have Overwatch 1, you still basically are getting like most of the update, except for like some kind of single player campaigns they're doing. Story, so it's kind of just like a little bit strange how they're approaching it. Is it really like Overwatch 2, or is it more like just like a expansion
DLC,
to
kind of?
I don't know. It just seems a little bit odd how it's being presented so far.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try it. Especially like them changing that mode. I think that'll be just enough freshness that at least for a little while, I think it'll add a lot of, different. The game, I'm sure it'll feel a lot different.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but I am nervous also as well.
Did you play any of that, Jerica?
I did when it first came out, and I don't know if it's just like a few players against a few players, and like I just couldn't get into like the character. Like I couldn't find a character that I could play well as.
Gotcha.
I just kept getting dominated, so I was like, I'm gonna go play something else where my powers are equal.
Wow.
I really enjoy the lore behind Overwatch. Like I love the character trailers. They do a really good job. They're short.
That's what I do. I do love all the story elements behind the characters.
Which is why I'm excited for the campaign, the like single player campaign situation.
Yeah,
that's honestly the only thing I'm excited about.
Yeah.
They do a really good job with like their world building and like their character building. But yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot of the stream. I watched some of like the here and there, and I watched some things on the new maps that look cool. But overall, I'm disappointed we didn't get a release date, but it's fine. It's probably gonna be a while. Like I think maybe like mid next year potentially. I don't know.
It's hard to say just because of with all the work from home stuff, because the thing is with 2020, we were right in the middle of the pandemic, and a lot of big games still came out even right now, right? You're still seeing some big games, but I think it's because there's actually like a lag, because if you think about it, the games that came out in 2020 were mostly had already been being worked on like pre-pandemic, and so they all came out in 2020, even though there were some small delays. Things still came out because mostly it just affected that last little like QA push, as we saw with like Cyberpunk, right? But I think now, actually, it might get even worse, like 2021 and maybe even next year, where during the pandemic is when they were supposed to be like starting projects or like in the middle or like, right in the beginning of production. And I think we're going to see like a strange lag.
Yeah.
So hard to predict.
Well, speaking of things coming out, we also have some news about Far Cry 6. Which is exciting.
What's the news? I actually didn't see any.
So
yeah,
we actually
with Far Cry, we
don't have a date.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jerica.
Yeah, just announced today, actually, even though it's Friday when you're listening to this, but today, Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Yes.
Yes. Far Cry 6, their official Twitter account, announced that on May 28th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, you'll be able to see a Far Cry 6 worldwide reveal gameplay video.
Yeah, they showed some trailers.
Yeah.
So maybe
all we've seen is a trailer with what's his face?
Yeah, the guy.
Breaking Bad.
And Mandalorian, the guy.
Yeah, and that guy from the Mandalorian, that guy.
I'm really excited for this. It's been so dry.
Did you play Far Cry?
I love Far Cry.
Okay.
I didn't like the last one too much. I like the story, but I really hope what they learned from the last one was, I just want to be able to explore. It made me so mad because I just drive around, and every like 2 seconds, I feel like I was always getting attacked by something.
I don't think I played the last
so annoying.
one. What was the last one?
The last one was like in America. It was kind of like
There's a cult.
Yeah.
Yes. I did play this. I didn't finish it. I didn't like it.
Was it Montana?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Primal. Did you play Primal?
Didn't do Primal.
I really want to try that, even though it has kind of like low. I don't know. It's kind of got medium reviews, but I liked it. Interested me.
But what really the cinematic trailer for this that they released really interested me. The Far Cry 6. It seems like something I would really like. So I've played Far Cry before. I'm not like a super fan or anything. Like it's not like I don't have to play every single game they release, but I've enjoyed what I've played. Except the last one, you're right. Like I didn't love it. I didn't finish it. So, but yeah, so we get a gameplay first look. Do you think they'll surprise us with a date, or do you think it will still not get a date anytime soon for it?
I don't know, because like this is sort of one of those that I didn't expect to be shown off in this kind of setting. Mm-hmm. I was maybe expecting Ubisoft, whatever they decide to do, like their press event, live event.
That might be when they give us a date then.
They could be, but like to me, that's sort of like their big game this year.
Yeah.
If it's going to come out this year, it'd be their big game.
They tend to be pretty regular with a lot of their games and series and franchises, so I would think probably this year as well, but
maybe like
rumor
holiday
is that like there's not going to be a new Assassin's Creed this year.
That is the
rumor. Which is fine with me because there's DLC for
Valhalla.
It felt like that just came out. It felt like Valhalla just came out.
Well, Valhalla is your whole life if you play it because like it's so there's so much game. That's the most game I've ever had.
You beat
I didn't
it,
even play all. I thought I did at one point. Then they sent me an email and say, "Hey, your journey with Valhalla is not over."
They sent you an email.
They did.
Like I know you thought you beat it, but
I thought it was. I was like, because I was actually just like, oh my god, I'm so ready to be done with this game. It's great and I'm having fun, but I'm just like, I just need the end. But they just released DLC for it, so I'm hoping they just build on Valhalla, and maybe Far Cry 6 is gonna be their big open world big game for holiday. That'd be awesome. I hope it. I want it to come out this year.
I think it'll be holiday. I'm predicting.
Nice.
Speaking of new games, still,
it's happening.
Jerica, what the heck? Josh, have you seen this about Horizon Forbidden West?
I mean, I saw they're about to do a press conference thing.
Yeah. Well, we're getting another state of play.
What's it called? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
State of play.
State of play.
But that's going to be, unfortunately, when this goes live, the state of play will be the day before. So it's a state of play tomorrow or yesterday when you're listening.
So people already know what was in it.
Yeah.
And they already know about Far Cry 6.
No.
Wow.
Wait.
No, maybe,
same day.
Maybe in like an hour you'll know if you're listening to this first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So really quick, just this article is discover the Forbidden West in our next state of play. This is PlayStation blog. Nearly 11 months ago, we showed you the first glimpse of Horizon Forbidden West. Wow, that's been a long time. During the PlayStation 5 showcase, and now we're excited to show more. This Thursday, May 27th, join us on a very special journey into a new and uncharted lands. 9 a.m. Pacific time. It doesn't matter because it'll already be out by the time this episode goes out. But yeah, during this state of play, we will debut Horizon Forbidden West gameplay reveal, a 20-minute exclusive segment. And you'll be seeing about 14 minutes of brand new in-game action. So cool.
Did you play Horizon?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Very good.
Did you beat it? I can't remember.
I did not beat it, actually.
You need to beat it.
I know.
How far did you get?
Pretty far. I think I was close.
You
it's just
beat it.
hard. It's difficult. It's a difficult game.
It is, and that's one
Just
you
bump it down.
you just
Bump the
can't hop back
difficulty
in
down.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
make
true,
it super easy.
Yeah. I'll have to.
It has a good ending.
I still have
Very
it,
good.
so I'll have
Makes
to
you-
go back. I did not see. I
Well,
don't know the ending.
You should play it, beat it like a few days before the
I
next
gotta
one
be
comes
on
out. So you don't have
brand.
to be like,
That's my brand.
I know that game, I don't know. Some people felt like, maybe it was a little tropey, but I actually really liked it. It had that story had more, like the same kind of impact that like first time playing Mass Effect had. Like I thought it was really good. It's kind of like what you were saying, how like how like you can just kind of anticipate plot twists or like it's kind of see the setup.
Yeah.
And so with this game, like you already know the setting. Like as soon as you boot it up, it's like, oh, they live in like this kind of like future post-apocalyptic. So you kind of understand like, oh, I kind of have an understanding of like where it's going to go or whatever. But it actually surprises you a lot, and I think the way that they put in some twists with her character was really cool. And so
I love
definitely
her.
looking forward to the sequel. There's some cool stuff in the ending that's like kind of cliffhanger for the sequel too.
Okay,
so.
I need to hurry up.
There's a cliffhanger.
I can jump back in where I left off for sure.
And luckily for you, you don't have to wait years until you can scratch that itch.
What I'm going to look forward to most. This was a little bit of a criticism the first time they showed it. I mean, it looked good, of course, but it is coming out on PS4 as well. And so I know a lot of debate was like, is that holding back like its true potential as like a PS5 game? Like you see the stuff they're doing with Ratchet and Clank is like that is only possible on a PS5 because of the technology of the PS5. So by having it on PS4, Horizon on PS4 as well, is like, is this just kind of like slightly? I mean, PS4 Horizon already looks incredible.
Yeah, it's one of the best looking games already,
sure.
and like I couldn't imagine how much better it would look. Like they haven't even upgraded Horizon yet for PS5. Like I don't even think they had like a patch or anything.
Which whatever. To be honest, as long as that story
anyway.
is like of the same kind of quality, and the gameplay. I mean, they could improve obviously some of the gameplay. Even if it was just like a little bit better looking, I'd be fine with it as long as they're focusing on the right things. They knocked it out of the park
with their first new IP, like guerrilla games. They knocked it out of the park for that like first new project. So whatever is next is going to be way better. I'm pretty sure it's going to blow up some skirts and be game of the year if it comes out this year, like hands down. I know it's going to be a fantastic game. But the rumor is too, like they're working on not just like this is going to be multiple games. Like Horizon's going to not be over for
like
a long
franchise,
time.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
It's a franchise for them.
They actually talked about that openly. I think if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. I remember.
They said
I can't remember if it was
trilogy. I think
trilogy or just like building on that world and like multiplayer experiences where co-op was like a thing that somebody was throwing around. But I'm sure they're already thinking like what's the next Horizon game and like what that is going to be on the PlayStation 5. So I want more Horizon.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
So good.
Last bit of news, and then we'll get into the main topic. But essentially, hot off the press, Microsoft announced that they will be doing an Xbox and Bethesda games showcase. That is going to be Sunday, June 13th. They didn't say anything about. I don't think they said anything about like what they're going to show yet. Did they?
Starfield.
We don't know, but maybe.
I think it'll finally be shown off. We'll see what it is.
But yeah,
it's going to be interesting because this is obviously the first kind of big public thing since they bought Bethesda. Mm-hmm. So we know Bethesda usually shows at least 4 or 5 things, right? Because we have what's that game? The Tokyo one.
Ghostwire.
Yeah, Ghostwire.
Or is Tokyo Drift?
Nope. There might be. Who knows? Are they making a new Wolfenstein? We don't know.
Probably so. That wouldn't surprise me.
Elder Scrolls wouldn't expect much, but that's just the Bethesda side. Then Microsoft has bought so many studios and they've been working on so many things like
Hellblade.
It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, a bunch of updates. So actually, this could be one of the highlights of kind of the E3 period.
One thing I hope that we get from this is a proper reveal, like gameplay showing of Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Like what have they done
like a
since?
relaunch.
A rebrand.
How are they gonna, paint a better picture?
I bought some Halo Pringles the other day. The Moa burger flavored, fake burger flavored Pringles, and I also saw there was some kind of Halo Pop Tarts, and I was thinking like, why is all this Halo junk food out now? And I realized it's probably because they had like these deals with these companies before all the delays, and they probably just couldn't get out of like the contracts or whatever. So yeah, there's a bunch of Halo snacks out right now.
Interesting.
Kind of weird.
It's just a bonus of a game getting delayed, just random snacks when you don't expect them.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to move into our main topic, which is VR. So I'm excited to hear about y'all's experiences with your new things, but I figured right before we get started with like our personal experiences, I thought this was really interesting. I was doing some research before the episode to kind of see because I don't know a whole lot about VR. Basically, the research that I found about when virtual reality was invented, now obviously in being invented and when it became like popular and readily used is very different. But what I found was the first virtual reality headset was actually, and this is from Pebble Studios, an article from them. I don't know much about this website, so if any of this is incorrect, don't quote me. But the first virtual reality headset was created in 1968 by American computer scientist Ivan Sutherland and his student Bob Spruill. While this was the first instance of a VR device resembling what we know and use today, the concept of virtual reality was being postulated in art and literature from as far back as 1860s. So to fully understand the evolution of this idea, we need to take a step back and see more precisely on how VR has developed. But they actually show a picture of these like spectacles. I don't know if you can see this, guys. Do you see that?
I can see them, yeah.
But I just didn't realize. I thought that was interesting, and I'm not going to dive really any deeper, but I thought it was interesting because I didn't realize it was around that long ago, the concept at least. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they had like these
really
big
neat.
kind of experimental kind of things, universities and the military experimented, and there wasn't anything really like
for
consumer.
gaming.
You know, there've been a few things, even like the Virtual Boy, right? Nintendo. There, I tied into Nintendo.
Hey.
Yeah, Nintendo had the Virtual Boy. You know, and like you said, like if you watch a lot of 80s or 90s movies, you always see like the future, and people are like have like VR goggles on or something. But it was never really like practical.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because of just the technology, right? If you think about it, at least our current popular version of it, it's really having to display like two screens at a very high resolution and at a very high frame rate. And so really, I mean, even now, like some systems have a hard time with that. So I think we're just now at the point in technology where it's both affordable and possible.
Yeah. I figured really quick I'll just talk about my experience because I don't own a VR headset. So I was going to talk about my like brief experience. I think that the first headset that I ever used was the Oculus around when it first came out. Do you know what year the Oculus came out, Josh? Off the top of your head?
The consumer one, I mean, it's
Oculus
roughly
Rift?
it's roughly around the 2015 time period. Might be a little bit before that, but
I just remember the creator was like on the cover of, was it Time?
yeah, Palmer Luckey.
And he looked really funny.
Yeah.
Oculus came out, Oculus Rift was introduced in 2012. But I think that maybe it wasn't like...
There was what's called a CV1 or whatever. There's like almost like a dev kit version of that, you know.
Would you say Oculus was like the first big brand to like be available?
So you have like like in this kind of era of it, you have a similar thing where Palmer Luckey kind of created a Kickstarter for Oculus, and it worked out of his garage. It actually got bought by Facebook before it really like officially even came out like as a consumer product. And then at the same time, Valve was kind of working on with HTC, partnering with them to make the HTC Vive. And then you also have Microsoft working on like, you know, their Windows version of that. But basically, you kind of had like a lot of simultaneous discovery going on. And keep in mind, this is all like happening in the same kind of area of California. So you have like a lot of crossover with some of the early pioneers of this era of it, where they're kind of bouncing around between, you know, these different areas and companies. So there's kind of a few, like a handful, like probably like a dozen or so like pioneers of this like new era of it, where they kind of came up with a lot of the concepting and testing and different approaches, right? Some of the companies have different approaches because you have different ways of tracking where your head and hands are. So,
well, I can remember the earliest I can remember is it was the Oculus Rift, and it was one of my friends at the time got it really early. I feel like when it wasn't really readily available.
Yeah, they probably had the dev kit version.
Expensive, very expensive. So they invested in this, and so I thought it was the coolest thing. Like I'd never experienced it before. I can't remember what I played. I think it was just some like mini games. I remember something with zombies specifically, and so I thought it was awesome at the time. I can't remember much about like how it looked physically, but it was around probably like 2015 or 2016, like my first experience. And obviously I've played yours. I love Beat Saber, playing that. I don't readily play it. But that is one of the things that I enjoyed the most. Another weird random thing that I wanted to talk about is I actually went to a VR arcade, like a specifically like VR arcade when I was at the beach a couple years ago, I think. And that was really cool. I'd never been to anything like that. I think they're more popular now, but at the time there was nothing else really like that, like an actual arcade just solely for VR. And so the setup was really cool. Oh, I also forgot, there's a big thing in Atlanta that I did as well. What's it called? The Void, I think?
The Void, yeah. Did you do that? I was going to bring that up.
Yes, I did.
I've wanted to do it, but I haven't done it.
I did an Avengers thing.
Oh, that's so cool. I wanted to do the Star Wars one. They have one near Disney as well.
Yeah, so I've had experience like doing it at places. The beach one was pretty cool. I did a lot of just random games on that. I did a horror survival game that was really fun. I think Resident Evil would also be fun on VR. Have you ever tried that?
I have not. That's on PSVR only, but that'd be really scary.
But yeah, so I did the Void, and that was really neat. It was a different experience because you like actually walk through.
Yeah.
Like there's like stairs that you're walking. It was very immersive. You feel like
it's cool. They basically have a big warehouse, and they kind of map their graphics over the physical features of the warehouse so that you can actually interact with different things in it and physically walk through it. Very cool. Like a haunted house kind of.
That's what it feels like. When I went, they had, I think we wanted to do the Star Wars one, but it was wasn't available.
Yeah.
They have the Void in a couple of different cities, like big cities.
Yeah.
They have one in Orlando.
Yeah, like LA and
They have one in Orlando. I did it in Atlanta. It was really fun. We did the Avengers one, and there was a couple of us. There was 4 of us, so you can have multiple people, and it's interactive. So I can turn around and I can see in the game, in the VR, I could see them, and it was tracking them. And it's the way that it feels super, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but very futuristic because you have to suit up basically. And then you go out and are walking and it feels very immersive. You also get in this, the one that we did, you get in a ship and you can hear and feel the doors closing beside you. And you actually shoot off. It was very cool. So that's mainly my experience is doing it in public places, or using friends. So I would like to hear y'all's experiences with owning, your own. So whoever wants to go first.
Well, I've been actually just searching for this thing. It may not, I don't think it has anything to do with virtual reality. But Josh, you may know, I know you didn't play Sega.
Yeah, I wasn't much of a Sega kid.
I was
or
a
Nintendo.
Sega kid.
We would have been little rivals,
Little rivals.
Yeah.
But I remember my parents went to yard sales all the time. And I remember finding, I was probably 7 or 8, and I got maybe even younger than that. And I got I found this thing that went on the floor. It looked like I'm trying to remember, was it an octagon or a circle? But it was this big controller that went on the floor, and I swear it connected to my Sega Genesis. And my little pea brain thought, ooh, if I put this on the floor and stand in it, my character's going to follow what I actually do inside of this circle. I don't know what it did.
I kind of have an idea of what you're talking about, because around that time there's a lot of third-party manufacturers making kind of weird accessories for both Sega and the NES and different Nintendo systems, where it probably had some IR sensors and would trigger a button if you move your hand over it. Because I remember there was another one that looked almost like a headset that I'm wearing now. It was had a thing and then a microphone. And you plug it to the NES, and it's voice command, so you could say jump or something, I guess. It's weird. I don't know. There's just a lot of weird accessories.
Weird little early things that happen.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny.
I wish I could find what this was. I gotta see it. Anyways, I'll go down that. Anyways, that's even baby Jerica really wanted VR to be a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I literally remember standing in that weird controller floor peripheral, hoping to move Pocahontas, because I was trying to play Pocahontas.
Aww.
So that was the game on my Sega Genesis that I was trying to control her punches, and it was not working.
That's funny.
Fast forward to, now that I'm an adult, I can put myself in the future of what baby Jerica wanted.
Yes.
And I love VR so much. I can't imagine what it's going to be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, because it's grown. It's gotten so, it's gotten to a point now where you can play games, put the headset on and be immersed. And there's experiences made specifically for VR, and there's experiences that are made that work really well with VR. I think when it first came out, or everyone was, at least from a consumer standpoint with PlayStation VR, was pretty easy to get your hands on once they started manufacturing more. I don't know. It just really became eye-opening of what kind of games would come out for this, because it's still a niche thing. Not a lot of my friends have these, besides Josh. Really, it's a unique situation, but you won't sell it on any, no one's gonna get sold on it until they put one on.
Yeah,
for the first time.
That's the difficulty. I think that's gonna be a difficulty probably forever, which is just it's hard to describe It's like even you see a trailer or a picture, and it even knowing like what it would be like if you play a lot of VR and you watch a trailer or see the picture, even like you kind of know like, okay, that's what it's going to be like. It's still like it's totally different than when you actually experience that in virtual reality.
And so, Jerica, what was your first? You had a PlayStation VR, right?
Yeah. So I think you may have initially asked that, and then I went on a weird tangent with that Sega Genesis peripheral thing. No, I have PlayStation VR was my first VR headset that I bought. And me and Audrey, literally it's a Beat Saber machine because that's like the best VR game ever created.
It's really fun.
It worked out perfectly with having to stay at home for months because that was the way we were working out. And it's a good workout. You sweat a lot. And plus I just like using lightsabers to beat cubes to music. So it was such a cool idea. It's, it's sort of replaced. It's like this generation's, or if you have a VR, it's like Guitar Hero. It's hitting all of those.
Like kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like those kind of rhythm games and just being put in that room with the things coming at you and you like using lightsabers. Like it's just like something you just have to experience, and it's so much fun. I think the other best game like I've ever played like that. For me, I can't just hang out in that world forever. I don't care what game it is because I get sort of nauseous, believe it or not. Yeah, and you get hot, and it's like you got a wire connected to you. So it's a hard thing to invest a lot of time in. But a game that I had a hard time taking off the helmet or the headset was Astrobot. So we all got to experience Astrobot with the PlayStation 5. Well, the Astrobot game made specifically for VR, PlayStation VR is incredible.
Yeah.
That was one of the best, like how they I guess like control how you control and move the character around in your space is perfect. It's not too far, not too close to you. You can even get up and like look around the map and like see hidden collectibles, but it didn't require you to stand up and move around either. Like you can sit down, but like if you got up and like looked around, you could find things. Like it was so cool, and like it didn't make me sick, and it was like literally playing like a good like platformer. VR games, platforming games are like my new thing with VR, and I want to see more.
Have you played Moths?
Yes, I started Moss and I didn't get too far, but I'm glad you brought that up because it's very similar. Just one of those like, it's almost, I can't describe it. It's like you're put in a movie or you're put into I don't know. You're in it, and it's just it's wild, but you're still in control. It's hard to explain. It's just cool.
That's awesome. And so you just recently got what from Josh?
So, so she just got my HTC Vive, my original one, that I got in 2016, because I upgraded to the Valve Index, which is a little newer. It just came out in 2019. So.
Yeah, well, how are you enjoying that so far, Jerica?
So, Jerica, like I told her like all the ways to set it up, and I was trying to show her how to do the custom songs. What have you tried on it?
I've just played Beat Saber.
There you go.
But like the reason why like I was really excited to get this from, like I told Josh, like if anytime he like upgrades, and he came to me one day, he was like, I'm gonna upgrade. I'm like, yes, I want it. So I could download and get custom songs for Beat Saber. That's an advantage that definitely you have over PlayStation VR, is that you can, sort of more open when it comes to PC games, that you can download custom songs.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to know the first song I played, custom song.
I do want to know.
Do you?
Yes.
WAP by Cardi B.
Oh my god. Not what I was expecting.
It was awesome.
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah. I actually downloaded that one, and I told Audrey, I told her not to open her eyes. I'm just going to hit start, and you just start Beat Sabering, and that's the song that played. She's like, oh my god.
That's amazing. Wow. I did not expect that. I don't know what I was expecting.
Well, there you go.
That.
I was thinking like Coheed and Cambria or something.
I have those in there too, but that was not my first pick was WAP.
Wow.
So now you know me.
Jerica. Okay, well that's exciting. I would like to hear Josh talk about your what is it called again? I forgot already.
This is the Valve Index. So it's made by Valve. They make, well, now they're really known for the Steam storefront, but before, they're known for making Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and, Portal and Team Fortress, all that stuff. So yeah, I decided to get that just because, just like Jericho, honestly, I mainly just played Beat Saber a lot. Same thing, like she's saying, it's a good workout, really fun. But I decided to just, I don't know. Sometimes when I get something in my mind, it's like I can't get out of my mind. I just gotta go for it,
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're just like, well, I guess I'm getting this now.
Yep.
It's been nice. It's a little more comfortable. The audio's better. Although that's what I was telling Jericho. She can get the audio strap for it. It adds some of that kind of stuff.
And I got it, and it was such a good investment.
There you go. And then it has the Index has a little bit of a better refresh rate and kind of like a better field of view. So there's less of that like binocular effect where it looks like you're looking into something. You see like a lot more like wide image.
Can't you move it too? Is it adjustable?
Yeah, you can adjust for your eyes and different things if you're wearing glasses or not. The main thing I really enjoy about VR, and both of you have kind of touched upon a little bit, is kind of you can't replicate the sense of immersion and especially scale. I think that's the main thing that is really hard to describe, which is the scale of things. One thing when I demo VR, I like to kind of like let people try certain experiences, and one of them that's really good, you should try Jericho's Super Hot VR. It's very good because it's just like easy to pick up and understand what's going on. But when you see enemies that are like the same height as you, it's very different than when you're playing like anything on a computer screen. Same with like I have one thing I like to show people where like a whale swims up to you and you get to see that full size of the whale, and it's incredible because it kind of does feel like you're there. Same thing with like a simple thing like Google Earth VR, and it sounds stupid, but
no, you showed me that too.
It's very much like flying dreams that if you have like dreams where you're flying around, it's like that. Like you can fly anywhere on the globe. Like you could stand in front of the Eiffel Tower and you look up and it's the scale of the Eiffel Tower. You could fly the pyramids or where your hometown or whatever. And I think like just thinking about doing that, like that seems very futuristic to me. If you think about like if you said even 10 or 15 years ago that you could be like flying around anywhere on the earth and landing places and it looks realistic like that's like that is actually like some very sci-fi like futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like accessible to us in this day and age. It's kind of crazy to think about. And I think just that overall scale. I'm also interested in like just weird like psychology things with VR because there's a lot of study being done because there's a few like weird phenomenon. One's called time dilation. I don't know if you've heard of this. And you might have experienced this, Jericho, which is basically time seems to move faster for the person in VR. At least it's perceived to be faster.
Yeah.
So like you'll be playing Beat Saber or whatever it is, and you'll be like, all right, that's probably like 30 minutes, but it'll be like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen?
That's crazy. Yes.
And people actually, there's like a lot of theories as to why, but now they're looking at like ways they can use that beneficially, like for learning, right? So like instead of school feeling like it's taking a long time, what if you just had it in VR and then it feels like you're getting the same amount of stuff, but it feels shorter, It's just some weird stuff like that. There's also things like, and you'll see it like on subreddits for VR. A lot of times, the first time people get VR, they play it for a lot. It seems like it makes their dreams more vivid, or they'll have more dreams, which is interesting too. So it's almost like your brain is treating this stuff as if it's real, or if it's you're like experiencing it. It's different than like watching it on a screen. It's like your brain is taking that input and putting it in a different part of its brain that is treating it like an experience you had versus something you just watched, which I think is really kind of could be powerful. Similar reporting with like people doing like VR chat and stuff like that, where if they use VR chat for a really long time, when they think of those conversations they have with those friends, like maybe like a couple months down the line, they remember it as if they were like in the room with that person, which is a little different than having a phone call or something. So I think that sense of presence and immersion We're just in the really early days of this. It's really unique. One funny thing that I've even experienced the first time I got VR was like, you have these kind of controllers and you're using the controllers to like manipulate the world and do different things. And a lot of times, since there's no resistance to things, you can kind of stick your head through objects or stick your hands through objects or do different things, and nothing has weight. And if you play VR for like 8 hours at a time or something, a lot of times you feel a little bit strange after, almost like I expect to pick up something like a water bottle in real life, and I'm surprised by the weight of it, or I feel like my hand can almost pass through an object or something. And so that's,
or you feel like, I feel lighter almost.
Yeah, like a bizarre like psychology thing.
I feel like Half-Life Alyx will be the first game that I play like that I start getting that immersed and like forget.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to kind of end my VR rant on, which is Half-Life Alyx. Good thing you brought it up, because that game, unfortunately, it's sad that only proportionately like a small amount of people get to experience that, because it is probably one of the best games made in the last who knows how many years, and I can't wait for you to try it. It's crazy how good it is. It's like the first time you play like a 3D game going from 2D to 3D or something. This does feel like that next leap or that next generation of something new and fresh. It just feels like you've never experienced something like that before. And like there's a lot of good VR games, but I guess part of it is budget reasons, right? The install base for VR is moderately low just because it's expensive. And so it's like, how much do you want to spend on producing something? But Valve released Half-Life Alyx, which is kind of like a prequel to Half-Life 2 as far as the story was. And here's how I can tie it into Nintendo 2. The way they designed the game is like a Nintendo game for real. The way Nintendo approaches a lot of its games, like Mario, how they will kind of show you an innovative concept or a new concept, teach you how to do it, explore that concept in different ways to the point where you have mastery over that concept, and kind of in that kind of section, and then start over like on the next section where now you learn something new and explore it in different ways. It's very textbook Nintendo, but in that VR environment, it's just incredible. There's so much parts I want to talk to people about, but hardly anyone's played it. Aww. So it's kind of hard to talk about without spoiling it, because there's just some really smart things going on. Obviously, it's like light horror. It's not like too scary, but there are definitely some tense moments, and the way the game is directed and paced and the way they present certain things is just, well, honestly, it's like incredible. Sometimes it does feel like you're also like in a Disney ride. It's really good.
I'm gonna play it Sunday. You sold me.
It feels like really good. I'm not buying. So like similar to how like Rise of the Resistance make you feel. Yeah.
Because you're interacting with characters sometimes, and they're having all this dialogue and movement, and they're standing right in front of you, and just the way that everything is moving, it feels like you're like in like Rise of the Resistance or something. You're like where you're in this like unreal environment, and these characters are interacting with you. It's crazy. Yes, can't wait for you to try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Sunday. I was gonna get Biomutant, but since it's sort of getting mixed reviews, I'm probably gonna hold off. So I'll get Half-Life.
But yeah, Half-Life Alyx is incredible. It's just, the gunplay is fun too. Obviously, you have guns and stuff, but that's not really even the main point of it. It's just kind of going through that environment, learning the story, trying the new concepts. You have a gravity glove, so you can point at different objects, and you use this like flick motion and it comes flying at you, and you catch it.
Oh,
and so you can do all kinds of different things with that, right? Like interact with objects, find there's like hidden objects you find that helps you upgrade your different weapons and stuff. And then even like when you're in combat, like obviously you're having to physically kind of crouch behind things or hide behind pillars and poke out and shoot at people, and it's just really incredible. Like when you play it for a while, like in little sections, that's all you're gonna want to do is like go back in there and do the next part. I'm lucky that I don't get too much like VR sickness. It's kind of like some people just get it, some people don't. And so I was able to play it with full like smooth movement where you're just walking like a normal like first person shooter where you can just walk around. But it does have other accessibility options, obviously like the teleport mode, which is very popular in VR. It's less sickening, where you kind of like point where you want to go and it kind of teleports you to that spot. And so there's a lot of different accessibility options for movement, but really,
I'm sure
really good. Can't wait for you to try it.
Yeah. Now you sold me. I want to try it.
You need to try it. Everyone needs to try it. And I understand it's such a shame, like, when GOTYs came up Game of the Year, it got overlooked a lot, I feel like, but it's understandable. I actually did win in I think in a few places, but just not a lot of people can try it because it's PC VR. A lot of people have the Quest or the Quest 2.
It's exclusively you really have to have that.
You have to have an Oculus or a Vive or an Index. Mm-hmm. But it is well worth it. Okay. I would say.
Yeah, well, I like that that's how we wrapped it up with your kind of review of that. Because, I haven't heard much about it just because,
Well, and that's the other tricky part, because if you are passionate about it, you don't want to say too much about it because there's so much cool things in it and you want people to experience that. So it's kind of a weird thing where, like, you want to tell people, like, no, you really have to play this, but you don't want to give, like, really any details because
you don't want to
that fresh experience is important. And there's nothing really I can, like, there's anything I say is really like a spoiler. So.
And there's no like comparison.
No, that's what's hard. You just have to play it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jerica, we're gonna be waiting on your review. So you and Josh.
I may even like download it tonight. And
just download it.
Tomorrow.
Get it on there. Give it a try. It's in little chapters. Because as you said, like sometimes longer sessions with all the gear on can be a little bit tiring, but it's in nice enough chapters that when I first played through it, I just did like one night. I would do like maybe 1 or 2 chapters a night, and then
how long is the game?
Just do that the next night. It's about, it depends, roughly about 10 hours, honestly. So
dang.
Yeah, I think it's a game.
That's
awesome,
I've
never played a real like game in VR. Like it's always just been like an experience.
Yeah, most of them are like little wave shooters or experiences. And the ending section, especially, you don't necessarily have to play with Half-Life 1 and 2, but if you know a little bit about Half-Life 2, there's some cool stuff. And the ending section is like just extremely profound and really like memorable. Like it sticks with you.
You're just going to download it right now.
Just download it.
All right.
It's well worth it.
Yeah, well, I think that, I want to make sure we don't miss anything, but I think that's probably going to wrap it up for us. Anybody else have anything to add before we go? Play Half-Life Alyx?
I am interested in, Sony's been teasing some of their new PS5 VR. Yeah. So,
man, I wish I could remember that word that I read from that article last week, Kayla. It was a weird VR term.
Oh,
like something rendering, like
foveated rendering is what you're talking about. Probably.
Maybe that's it. Okay, like what is that?
It has to do with right now. It's rendering scenes of VR is what you would call expensive, right? It costs a lot for the computer to be able to put all that resources into displaying everything. The basic way to explain it is foveated rendering is like it tries to render what your eye is specifically looking at, sort of.
Oh, that's cool.
So that it can save resources, basically.
It's basically what other games do, but like how do you...
Yeah, normally in a lot of games, they're not rendering things your whole screen's not looking at, but this is kind of even further where it's like only what you're like actually focusing on, so it has
that's cool.
to like track your eye a little bit. But yeah, Sony's only showed really the controller hardware. The reason why it's interesting is, they're a huge company, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, so continued investment by Sony is only going to, and Oculus and Facebook, it's only going to grow the industry more and more, which is good. There's some concerns the way the industry is developing. With Facebook, obviously there's concerns, and each thing being like a locked system where it's like you have to have a PSVR and you have to have a Oculus and you have to have a whatever, and it's like separate marketplaces is kind of irritating. But overall, I think if the costs can come down and more developers make higher budget games, I think it's going to help things overall. So
yeah, well, the future of VR is bright. There's no telling.
Yeah.
There's no telling where we will be.
That sounds like something from, they would say, like those 40s radio announcers.
Yeah. The future of VR is bright.
It's very bright.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Josh, for coming again. You're a popular
thanks for having me again.
You're a popular guest on our podcast, so everyone is lucky to have you here. All
nice.
right. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.